Welcome to episode 18 of the Last Down podcast. I'm your boy Lopez.
And I'm your boy Anguiano.
As you can see, we're in a different format this time around. A lot of things happen, and so we couldn't be in the normal set. But who knows? This might be the go to for the following, the rest of the season. But we'll see how it goes. Most
I mean, we'll
importantly,
see how it goes.
yeah,
We'll see how it goes because I mean, in a sense, it is beneficial in a sense we don't have to like set up or anything, but at the same time, getting the face to face sometimes is just better.
yeah. And I can't talk trash about you. I can't talk trash in front of you. So, kind of changes the experience.
It
But
does.
but not nevertheless, what a start to the week. What a start for week one of NFL football. I don't know about you, but this had to be one of the best. I saw a lot of upsets, a lot of surprises, but most importantly, a lot of injuries.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of things we gotta talk about. Starting off obviously with Thursday night, with Kelsey out, it's clear that Mahomes has a receiver issue. I mean, Kadarius Toney was very inefficient, dropped a couple passes, and especially that last drive, the Mahomes was throwing to his receivers, and they just could not make the plays. I don't know how you felt, but like it was like it seems like they definitely needed Kelsey.
Yeah, there's a big problem in Kansas City because other than Kelsey, who the hell is the weapon? Who's the next Tyreke? Who's the next man up? If I'm being honest, I would give it a Sky Moore, but he didn't show. And the only guy that really showed was Rashee Rice, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, I agree because he had the touchdown and he was at least more efficient in terms of catching the ball. But overall, that game, the upset by the Lions wasn't too shocking to me, given that Kelsey was out and Chris Jones was out. So it didn't surprise me too much. But at the same time, like what surprised me was just Mahomes and the receivers.
Yeah, that really led to the Lions, winning. And honestly, what the main takeaway I have from that is obviously how bad Tony was. If you're a fantasy owner of Tony, you kind of gotta, call it off. You gotta, cut him.
Yeah, but onto the main course Sunday. Let's start off with the Panthers and the Falcons because I feel like that game there were still some very interesting things. First, that I actually really want to talk about is Pitts and London. From real life and fantasy perspective, it's clear that Arthur Smith does not care about his receiving weapons. He just loves running the football. He loves using his running backs. Algier had 2 touchdowns. But yeah, I mean, Pitts and London, just 4 targets combined was horrible.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to see. I just feel like Desmond Ritter might not be that guy. He just did not show anything to me that says this guy's going to be the future of the Atlanta Falcons. I just don't see it. And like you said, Pitts and London did horrendous, horrendous. Like, if I'm a fantasy owner, if I'm a fan, I'm like, damn, this team is not going to do good. This team is not going to do good at all. But the only bright spots, like you said, were Algier and Bijan. They did pretty solid.
And not to mention though that the Falcons secondary does look good though. I mean, they held Young in check, 2 picks in his first NFL game. It looked shaky for him in a sense, but I still saw a lot of good pocket presence from Young, and I think once he gets the more polished weapons, he can look very good.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. He looked a lot better than a lot of people. A lot of people thought he was going to do worse. I mean,
Yeah,
two picks is bad, but I mean, it's growing pains. It's growing pains. It's his first NFL game.
but Anthony Richardson, going against the Jags, actually impressed me a little bit. I feel like I thought we were going to see like a Josh Allen 2018, very athletic, but it was just bad. But I watched the highlights and I saw, you know, a little bit of the game on Red Zone, and honestly, Richardson did not look bad at all. I mean, 24 for 37 and 223 for one TD passing and one TD rushing. So he held his own in his first NFL game, especially given that he barely started 1 year in college. It was kind of impressive to me. It impressed me, and having him in fantasy in one league, just I feel glad.
Yeah, no, definitely. The Colts have something brewing up. A lot of us had, the Colts thinking that, without Jonathan Taylor, they weren't going to be anything. But man, Anthony Richardson, he's that guy. He's that guy. Everything that you've told me, I'm starting to believe the hype, man. Like you've been hyping him up all off season. All off season. You were like, he's going to the Colts. He's gonna be the number one quarterback. Like you had a lot of things, going, for him. And honestly, his first game, he almost upset the Jaguars. He almost single-handedly did it himself.
Because there
So
was no JT. Think about it, no
yeah,
JT, and he still kept it a game until towards the end,
yeah.
and it was just impressive overall. I mean, the
I
running back
tip of
was
the
the
cap.
difference maker in
Yeah,
term, in a negative sense. The Deion Jackson was bad,
yeah.
and but on the other side though, Ridley though, I mean, tip of the cap to him. Freak, man. He is so far looking like the prime Ridley again. And if Ridley is the chase to the Burrow and Diggs to the Allen and Kelsey to the Mahomes, and I would say Lawrence is in for a very good year because Ridley was just looking very nice.
He was. He really was. Really looked like his last year with the Falcons. Um, what kind of sucks to see is that Kirk, lost a lot of his snaps. He lost a lot of touches. He wasn't getting targets. It sucked for my fantasy team, but honestly, props to him. Calvin Ridley really balled out, and I mean, who knows? Who knows what this team could do in the playoffs? Come playoffs, if they get all three receivers, up to par. If they get Kirk involved too, I think this team is the team to beat. Honestly,
I could see it in a sense. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and disagree with you because we know what Lawrence can do, and if he really takes a little bit more of a leap, then we're talking about someone that's on the tier with Mahomes, someone that's on the tier with Allen,
yeah.
supposedly. But um, yeah, I feel like the Jaguars are gonna be a fun team, and next week against the Chiefs is gonna be very interesting.
Is it an
But then
Arrowhead?
now it's in Jacksonville,
Oh, okay, never mind.
yeah. And now to another game that had a couple young quarterbacks, the Niners and the Steelers. Um, Ayuk goes crazy, 8 for 129 and two TDs. CMC went off. Niners defense just went off too. 5 sacks, 8 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions. They really just held Kenny Pickett in check and just shut down all the preseason hype around Kenny Pickett, including the hype that I felt like was legit. I
Yeah,
really just thought Kenny Pickett was that guy, and I don't know. I mean, it's either he's not that guy, or the defense for the Niners is just crazy, or a mixture of both. But I don't know. I feel like that game was surprising. I thought it would be closer.
it was bad. We saw it live. We saw it live. The Steelers were
Together.
horrendous. The Steelers were pretty bad. No offense, the Steelers fan base is some of the most loyal, most respected, but it's just that the Steelers were horrendous. If I'm being honest, there's only one good player on that team, only one good player, and I bet you can guess who it was.
TJ.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was the only one making plays. He was the only one really doing something.
exactly. Like no one else. Patrick Peterson was getting his ankles cooked all game by Ayuk. Um, Hayward was, non-existent. I think he was like injured or something. Kenny Pickett was just not good at all.
And then not to mention that Deontay Johnson getting that injury does not help the Steelers though. So
It's
I think them against Cleveland next week is it's not looking good for them. Um, and now speaking on Cleveland, the Bengals and the Browns, I feel like that's a big game we gotta talk about because what happened to Burrow? What happened to Burrow? 14 for 31, 82 yards. And then Higgins too, 0 for 8. Was it, what do you think? The weather? Because it was damp. It was for sure seemed to be affecting everyone, but I don't know. I felt like what I saw there out there was just a lot of miscommunication, a lot of just simply missing throws. I feel like Burrow was for sure off his game, but um, I'm just very surprised because I thought this was gonna be like a not super high scoring game, but like a like 21-24 type of deal. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, what is it? What is your take on Burrow and Higgins and all that stuff?
Man, it's so disappointing, man. I don't even want to talk about it. I mean, when you saw how depressed we watched this game too. You saw how depressed I was, man. Just seeing how Joe Burrow was getting exposed, how Jamar Chase was getting, covered nicely. and how T Higgins got a donut. It sucks. It sucks. And I would, the weather played a factor, but if I'm being honest, it's an in-state rival. If it was maybe in New York, I would say, oh yeah, it's the weather, especially in that stadium. But it's in Ohio. You should expect the same conditions at least. I, I genuinely have to believe that the offensive line was just horrendous, horrendous. Joe Burrow was under pressure most of the game. And I mean, when you go up against guys like Darius Smith and Myles Garrett, then I don't blame you. But to be honest, Joe Burrow has lit up the best defenses in the game. So I just don't know. Jamar Chase was playing more defense than offense out there, to be honest. He was the one, tipping passes so that the defenders wouldn't pick him off.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
feel
like
like
it's bad. It's bad.
I feel like we still got to give credit to the Browns though because that defense I already knew was gonna be good, and no one was really talking about it. And then they were for sure giving Burrow a hard time,
Yeah.
and they were constantly getting pressure. And I think that's gonna be consistent for them. I don't think that's obviously just a one game thing because Darius Smith is there, Myles Garrett is there, the guy that I'm not even gonna try to say his name, the guy that went from Houston to there was
Yeah.
also there. So um, they're gonna be pretty good. They're for sure gonna be getting pressure, and that secondary is good too. I really feel like the Browns actually have a very underrated team.
Denzel Ward.
Um, yeah, yeah, they have a very underrated team, and I wouldn't be surprised if they make the playoffs. Only if Deshaun Watson actually plays a little better than what he
Yeah.
did, because I actually thought he'd play better than Burrow for sure.
Oh, no doubt. There's no question. There's no question about that. When your starting quarterback gets benched, I'm not saying he got benched.
Benched, yes, he got benched.
I'm not saying I don't think he got benched because of his poor play. I just feel like he got benched because they knew they lost. Like there was no hope. I don't feel like, oh, the coach was like, oh, you're benched. Like we're gonna start the quarterback too. No, I think it was more because the game was over, and they weren't gonna do anything. Let's be real. They weren't going to do anything. And that's why I'm bringing up the question. Do you think Joe Burrow's injured? Do you think he's not fully recovered? Or do you think it's because of the lack of reps in preseason? Because, the injury.
I feel like it's clearly like I feel like that calf is still bugging him, and I feel like the weather played a part. I feel like
Yeah.
there's a couple of factors, and I feel like he didn't get that many snaps. He was hurt, and he still could be hurt a little bit. But overall, I feel like over time, if he fully heals, I mean, it's a calf, so I don't think he's gonna be bugging him the whole season. Obviously,
Yeah.
um, I feel like he'll be fine at some point. But yeah, that was very crazy. That was a very bad game for him. But another QB that for sure sucked then, but wasn't surprising is Tannehill. He was pretty mid, 16 for 34, three interceptions. I would say that's the main reason why they lost to the Saints because Carr was Carr was doing his business, but they still only scored 16 because they couldn't run the ball at all.
No.
Olave went off. The Shaheed went off. Thomas did very good, and they still barely won by 1 point. I mean, Tannehill is mid, and the Titans clearly have a situation like QB, and I feel like Tannehill is gonna be replaced before week 6. Before week 6, for sure. I think at this pace.
I could see it. But this is why I had Jamal Williams as a sit last for week 1 because the Tennessee Titans rush defense is pretty top notch. They were stopping Jamal Williams at all costs. At all costs, they were stopping Jamal Williams. The pass defense was questionable. Michael Thomas was getting a lot of targets for sure. Derek Carr I think Derek Carr is trying to establish a connection there. But if I'm being honest, the only guy that was keeping the Titans alive was obviously number 1, the defense, but number 2, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry. That's the only guy that's the only guy that cares about winning, bro. Because like D Hop
Derrick
was
Henry and D Hop had decent days. Yeah,
at
D Hop had a decent day too.
yeah. And then obviously Traylon Burks was non-existent.
Yeah, he was. I had no belief in him anyway, even before D Hop was there.
Yeah.
But another game, this time in NFC that I really want to touch on it because it was very apparent to me. Kirk Cousins, 333 passing yards, 2 passing TDs, 150 receiving yards for Jefferson, and still lost to Baker Midfield, who also had 2 touchdowns, one to Evans and one to a guy I've never heard before.
Who?
I feel like it's clear that the Vikings have a bunch of holes, and I feel like it's clear that the Vikings could low key be a high scoring team, but barely
Mhm.
wins like 5 or 6 games because the defense is bad.
Yeah.
The running game is probably not gonna be that good. So I really am at this point seeing the only thing the Vikings can do is pass the ball. That's really the only thing, in my opinion. I really see it. I mean, what they give away to Darius Smith, like if they don't want to win, they freaking let Patrick Pearson walk, like if he wasn't their best corner. They they suck. They suck on defense. They fucking suck. I shouldn't even say that word, but they just suck. They suck on
I mean,
defense.
after what Patrick Peterson did on Sunday, I don't think they regret it. Patrick Peterson got
Yeah,
cooked. No, but
yeah.
no, if I'm being honest, yeah, you're kind of right. The Vikings kind of collapsed in the second half. They had that game in the bag. If I'm being honest, Jefferson went off for 150 and a TD. When you
And
have
then
your
I mean, Kirk Cousins also had 2 fumbles, but I know one of them wasn't fully on him because the O line just threw it bad.
yeah,
Like tossed it back to him.
I
But
mean, if I'm being honest, it's going to be a rough season for Vikings if you lose to the Buccaneers. I mean, I had a TikTok comment because I kind of talked smack about the Buccaneers just a tad bit. I said that the Buccaneers got cooked by Jefferson, but the commenter is right. Basically they figured them out in the second half. They figured out the Vikings in the second half, and then Cousins got picked off at the end. So yeah, I kind of put this on Kirk Cousins, and like you said, the defense. The defense was not good. Yeah.
it was, and I also want to briefly touch on Addison though. Nice grab, nice TD for sure. I think like I said, I think the passing game is not good. It's gonna be the only great thing about this team. The only good thing,
Yeah.
passing, the passing offense. And besides that, though, another rookie that shined was Zay Flowers against the Texans. 9 catches, 78 yards, pretty good. I mean, in a sense, though, I mean it was at a discount because Andrews wasn't playing that game, surprisingly.
Yes.
And another thing I also want to mention before I pass it off to you is J.K. Dobbins out for the year. It sucks because he always gets hurt at this point. It's like you know, might as well just consider retirement. I don't know. What's your overall takeaways from this game?
Yeah, Zay Flowers balled out, and he's definitely the true wide receiver one there. I had a lot of questions about who was going to be the wide receiver one there. I thought it was going to be Bateman or even potentially Odell. But Zay Flowers put an end to that question, put an end to that narrative, and he's truly the wide receiver one over there. And honestly, I mean, the whole game was pretty interesting, pretty close. The Texans kind of kept it close, but if I'm being honest, something I want to add on, the Texans, I mean, like Tank Dell and Dalton Schultz were not doing well. Even Pierce was not doing well either. So it's like I don't know how they kept it close for that long. But
Yeah,
if I'm being honest,
I think the defense actually improved though, Loki.
yeah, I didn't see the full defensive stats, but I should check it out before. I should have checked it out before. But speaking on J.K. Dobbins, yeah, it's sad, dude. It's sad. It hurts me because I had him last year on my fantasy team, and seeing him go out like that was just sad because I had a lot of hope, a lot of hype. He had his games, and now that he's out with an Achilles injury, yeah, it's sad, dude. And like you said, I mean, I hope that retirement isn't the answer, but if your body's telling you you can't do it no more, then so be it. You got to do what you got to do. But 2 years being out for that period, like that long period of time, it's hard, dude. It's hard,
Yeah, yeah,
especially at that position. Once you get injuries like that, it's pretty hard to come back fully 100%.
yeah, man. I mean, Todd Gurley when he got hurt, never came back the same.
You know,
But now on to the later games. We'll start off with the Packers and the Bears. I feel like I don't know if you want to lead that one because
that's that's on me. Yeah. So the Packers, man, what can I say? What can I say? As the owners of the Packers franchise, I gotta say Jordan Love is that guy. I love Aaron Jones. I love the defense. I love everything about Green Bay. As for the Bears, hey, the reverse psychology kicked in, bro, because I had so much hype for the Bears. I was like, oh, the Bears are gonna be the number two, number three in the NFC North, and look what happened. Packers still own them. No, but yeah, I mean Jordan Love showed a lot of experience, showed a lot that I kind of feel like he's like a veteran at this point. And Aaron Jones, he kind of felt he got injured, but honestly, he did great. He did great while he could. And the defense just played their asses off. Quay Walker with that pick six. Yeah, that it sealed the deal. I'm just happy. I'm just happy. The Bears just looked shaky all around, and Justin Fields was not comfortable at all in the pocket. So, I mean, what do you got to say? I mean, I'm just happy. I'm just being biased.
I just generally think the Bears defense sucks. Um, Secondary's okay, but besides that, they suck. They suck. And DJ Moore got absolutely locked down by Jair. I mean, only 2 catches, 24 yards. And, I think the Bears are gonna be mid. I mean, it didn't surprise me that much, but at the same time, I mean, Packers had no Christian Watson, so I thought this game was potentially gonna be in their hands. But obviously
Romeo
they suck.
Dubs. Romeo
They
Dubs.
they suck. They suck. I mean, they had a lot of penalties. They were constantly behind the sticks. And like you said, Justin Fields wasn't too comfortable, and he was passing more than usual for sure. And honestly, as a passer though, he didn't look too bad. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, he's like Zach Wilson, like freaking out here making dumb decisions. But yeah, the Bears definitely the Bears had to work on a lot of things.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And now on to the Rams and the Seahawks, and surprised. I'm surprised because we're not tanking. I thought, Matthew Stafford looked very good. I never thought he would look like that again. The way he was restoring the ball, the way he was throwing it to Nakua, the way he was throwing it to Adwell, I'm shocked. I'm really shocked. Two of our guys went for over 100. If you would have told me that, if you would have told me, oh, like let's bet $100 that Stafford's gonna throw for over 300 without Cup and get 2 receivers with over, you know, 100 yards, I would have 100% taken that bet. Like that's how surprised I am because I think I'm looking at it and I feel like I instantly see Nakua being a true number two. He was just constantly getting 10 to 15 yard receptions, running me a lot of Robert Woods and Tutu Atwell just looks like that boomer bust guy, like just big player, no play. But Seattle also looked very concerning. I think it's pretty clear that the O line just made us look better on defense than we probably really are. Because I mean, our two rookies also were getting good pressure, though. I mean, I was just surprised by everything, and unfortunately, we're not in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes at this point. I mean, what's your takeaway?
Oh yeah, the Rams played like if it was 2021 again. That's what I felt. I was like, damn, where did this come from? No, but like you said, the Seahawks offensive line isn't that great anymore. Geno Smith was under pressure all game long, pretty much, and he was connecting with DK Metcalf, for a lot, and he got that touchdown too. But the highlight of the highlight of the game is that Tutu Atwell, Puka Nakua, and Van Jefferson, they were going crazy. Not even
Van
gonna lie.
Jefferson was it? Van Jefferson was
Okay,
it?
I mean, he was still
For the
getting
first three, yes, they
he
were.
was he was getting targets, but if I'm being honest, he was spreading the ball pretty good. And for guys like Puka Nakua and Tutu Atwell to prosper, it's kind of interesting. It's an interesting storyline, honestly, to take
It
with.
is. The
And
one, and I'll truly know how good we are next week when we face the Niners because at
yeah,
that point, that's a real. That's like the big test.
yeah, and I want to say that those two guys get them on the wire.
I feel like Nakua for sure. I'm just gonna instantly say right now, Atwell's a boomer bust.
I mean,
Atwell's a
we'll see,
boomer
we'll
bust.
see, we'll see. But have him if you're in a deeper league, consider him. If you're in a deeper league,
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Well, if you're in a deep league,
or if you have Tony,
um,
drop him.
yeah, I'm very disappointed in Kadarius Toney. But also, I want to talk about Raiders and Broncos briefly, just because Jacoby Myers before that scary incident looked very good. Like I was thinking, like, damn, he really looks very good with Jimmy G. With Jimmy G, 2 touchdowns, and I forgot off the top of my head how many receiving yards, but he got like 8 or 9 catches, I think, as well. And Russell Wilson for sure looks better than 2022. I will for sure say that. So far, he had 2 touchdowns. he didn't have too many passing yards, but he was efficient enough in terms of like he wasn't doing dumb stuff. He wasn't, you know, trying to be like a superhero. He was just playing it a little conservative and not making mistakes, which is good for sure. Better than last year. Overall, that game was not too appealing, but at the same time, those were two things I just felt like I had to point out.
I do want to say I kind of forgot about this game. Not even gonna lie with you. I kind of forgot that the Raiders and Broncos played. But if I'm being honest, I was looking something up. If I'm being honest, it's going to be pretty telling. I think these two. It was a 1 point game. Um, I just feel like this is going to be very telling about who's going to be third in the division. If I'm being honest, either one could make the wild card, but the Raiders surprised me. To go into Mile High Stadium and upset the Broncos like that is astonishing. And Jimmy G looked okay. He looked okay. And Jacoby Myers, like you said, he went off. And I was looking. I saw that he's in concussion protocol right now. We're gonna
Yeah,
see if he's gonna play next week. Obviously,
not gonna lie, when I saw because I saw him when I saw him
yeah,
when that happened. I freaked out because he was like literally looking like this, like he wasn't moving. He was just like this, and like his eyes are open. He wasn't moving. He was like this
yeah.
on
He
the
got
ground.
he got sunned then. Yeah, no, yeah. It's very scary. I didn't get to see it, but I would
Yeah,
imagine it's very scary.
he just stayed still for a few like for a few moments, just with his eyes open, not even moving on
Yeah,
the ground. I was like, oh my gosh, with his head like turned like weird.
I will
Like,
say. Oh, to add on to the Jacoby Myers, I do want to say you had him ranked at like out of your top 50 or even your top 60. I think that ranking is gonna come back and bite you because
yeah,
I had him at,
I had no hope in Jimmy G. Maybe it's my bias. Maybe it's my bias, but I had no hope in Jimmy G. But
well, the good thing is
because there was a
that
lot of stuff. There was a lot of stuff with Jimmy G going on in the offseason. He might not play. He might not play. The physical, the physical. So I was like, I don't know. I don't like Jimmy G at all. But Hunter Renfro, 0 targets. That was crazy.
yeah,
From
he's not
going
a
relevancy and now it's just like 0 targets.
I
And
was
and
I want to say that we are, kind of just going back, at the end of the season, we are gonna look at our rankings. We're gonna see how accurate they were, to be honest.
I
So
mean, in a sense, our rankings are already busted in a good amount because of the injuries. Which, like I said, we didn't predict injuries, so
no,
I kind of expected this in a sense. But I will say I'm a little surprised by some of the stuff I saw, like Jacoby Myers dominating, and this is also a surprise that the Raiders did win without Josh Jacobs going off. So
yeah,
I mean, that's the last thing I really want to point out. And then on to the most exciting game, in my opinion, from the this past weekend. Chargers and Dolphins combined for 70 points, to a 466 passing. Hill over 200 receiving yards. JC Jackson sucks, honestly. He just came off injury, so in a sense I should cut him slack. But I saw this TikTok by Theo Ash, and I'm like, JC Jackson sucks. He's not putting in that much effort. He's just running. He's just jogging out there. He's just like they were playing man, and Tua made them pay the price. And also, I want to also mention before I pass it off to you. Surprisingly, the Chargers were running the ball a lot. Eckler and Kelly combined for over 30 carries and pretty much ran 200 yards. So that was another thing that surprised me. But nevertheless, this game was just an absolute yards galore. Everyone was just getting yards here, yards there, yards galore. And not surprising, the Chargers barely lose. So, what's your takeaway?
it was a great game. I got to see the first half before I had to go to work, sadly. But Tyreke Hill, like he always does, man, he just goes off. He goes off, man, and he cooked the whole secondary. The Chargers secondary had no chance. Like you said, JC Jackson had no chance. Jalen Waddle was getting his targets too, but Tua, you see, if the offensive line stays healthy and Tua stays healthy, that team is dangerous. It's dangerous. He's throwing them like at first he was throwing some crazy like throws like double coverage and stuff, but once he got settled in the second half, man, they lit up that Charger secondary really bad. And Tyreek Hill, I mean, I had Jamar. Let's just say this now. I had Jamar Chase as the number one wide receiver. I had him as the offensive player of the year. But Tyreek
Who
Hill,
who had offense? Who had him as an offensive player of the year? Who had him as number one? Look at me. Look at me.
there's
Who
even
had him?
there's a conversation going on that maybe Tyreek Hill could be the first wide receiver MVP. I
Well,
don't
but
know. Wait, I don't know if he. Wait, to be honest, I don't know. I could be wrong. Let me fact check this. I don't think there's ever been a wide receiver MVP, but I can fact check this right now really quick.
I feel like Randy Moss is the only one I can think about being close because
Yeah, let me double check just to make sure. I don't want to. Yeah, no. No wide receiver has ever won the award. Never. Even Jerry.
Adrian Peterson won it for Minnesota though as a running back, huh?
Yes, he did. He did. But no wide receiver has ever won an MVP. So could Tyreek Hill be that guy and get 2,000 yards? Could he be that guy? I mean, I was watching the Pat McAfee show, and they were saying that statistically, they did the statistics, and if at the rate that Tyreek Hill is going, he could get to 2,000 yards.
Easily, easily. I actually think that if Tua stays healthy, he's gonna get 2K.
Yeah.
He's at least he's gonna get very close because man, Tua just Tua this year so far, it's like damn. Like if he stays healthy, like if he really has no concussions, can stay healthy, oh my gosh. Tyreek Hill is gonna smash wide receiving records. He's gonna absolutely give defenses hard times. Up to the point to where teams might just want to hurt him. like I mean, like
Let's hope not.
let's hope not. But come on, teams will get like mad. You know, they'll get very offended. Like Tyreek Hill is kicking our ass. But Tyreek Hill is definitely that guy, and I'm not surprised by what I saw. In the sense that because Tua was healthy.
Yeah.
And if Tua, like I said, Tua needs to stay healthy, man, because I'm trying to see some crazy stuff.
Oh,
Okay.
100%.
So another crazy thing that I saw, I feel like, was the Patriots and the Eagles because I mean, I know you didn't watch that game, so let me recap. Eagles were upset like 16-0 in the first quarter, and I was thinking to myself, oh, this is a be a blowout. And they did 25-20. The Patriots defense was for sure good. Mac Jones, 3 touchdowns passing, over 300 passing yards without Devontae Parker, and I forgot who else. I think Kendrick, no, not Kendrick
No,
Bourne.
no.
Thornton, who's also was expected to be a starter. Without two of his starters, supposedly. 300 passing yards, over 300, and 3 passing TDs. Like, let me say this again. 3 passing TDs and over 300 passing yards. I was just like, and I was watching the red zone. I was like, he's literally making first down after first down after first down. And they lost because the receiver didn't keep both feet in bounds in the red zone. And they could have had one more play if he was. So they were very close to upsetting the Eagles after being down by a lot. And not to mention that Zeke fumbled, and that's what also did not help, the Patriots. So after all that I told you, what's your honest reaction to all this?
Well, I was surprised because I did see the score breakdown, and I was like, Jesus, the Eagles almost had a run. They had a run. They were really, not gonna go down easily. And like you said, I'm surprised. Mac Jones is he back to his rookie mode? Like, is he back to like being like that legit starter where we're like, oh, he's not good, he's mid. No, I mean, if I'm being honest, he balled out. He balled out and he made Kendrick Bourne look crazy. Kendrick Bourne had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So the Patriots, they could be a surprising team in the NFC East, and obviously AFC East,
Yeah.
in the AFC East. And we're gonna talk about it more with the last game that we need to cover. But I just think the Patriots, if they stay healthy, if the offensive line stays healthy, the weapons stay healthy, we're seeing at a potential wild card team. And Mac Jones it can easily, bounce back from a horrendous year last year. And if I'm being honest, the Eagles maybe got a little too comfortable, maybe. But I mean, the defense was still good. The defense still showed out. I know your boy Jalen Carter. He balled out. He balled out. I saw his statistics and I was like, man, I'll have a screenshot here. But man, I was surprised. I was like, damn, this guy, he's legit. He's legit. Like, there's no doubt about it.
I think the Eagles are going to be fine. I'm not too concerned yet, but if anything, this just shows that the Patriots, they're fighting. They're not here to just be like, oh, kick our ass, you know? And of course, I'm not too surprised in a sense because it's like Bill Belichick is one of the best coaches of all time.
Yeah.
So
And he had
I'm not.
wait, and they had Tom Brady walk the team. He ran with the team.
I mean, yeah.
So
So he probably gave Mac Jones a little prep talk, you know, just do this, do that, be the guy types, you know, just overall that game was very impressive to me. And I really thought that the Patriots were on upset mode for sure.
yeah,
Um, but nevertheless, another game that I want to talk about. There's pretty much two games obviously left. First game, Dallas against the Giants, and on the Giants side, it was horrendous. On the Dallas Cowboys side, they look scary. Defense absolutely gave Daniel Jones nightmares. They were just running the ball. They didn't even have to display Dak Prescott. They didn't even have to display much, and they beat them 40-0. It was almost like if the JV team and the varsity team faced off. Like it just was absolutely horrendous for the Giants. And you know, every year, Dallas Cowboys. Is it our year? Is it our year? Is it our year? Well, overall, what's your takeaway from all this?
you know damn well. Anyone that knows me knows I hate the Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys fans. No offense. It's just, growing up with Cowboy fans, they get toxic, they start talking too much, and then the team implodes. But if we're being honest, I thank them because I had that defense. I thank them because they kept me they won me fantasy. they but what I'm trying to say is they're scary. They're scary. I'm scared if I'm being honest. This is like the
You're
first
scared?
time I've been like, okay, the Cowboys, hey, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Like it's
That's
like
actually the first time you actually thought about them that way.
I mean, last year was almost like, oh shit, this team is like a Super Bowl contender. But
I will say if Tony Pollard didn't get hurt, I don't think that Niners Cowboys game would have ended the way it did. And it was one possession pretty much the whole time.
yeah, it's going to be very interesting how we see the Cowboys. I mean, the next thing we could see them implode next week and like they get fucking 0 points. But it's
They
just
faced the Jets, which let's just cut to the chase.
yeah.
Let's just get to the last game. Jets, Bills, a lot. I feel like this is the biggest game because a lot of things happened. Aaron Rodgers is done. Aaron Rodgers is done. I don't think that injury is something minor because at this point the coach even said it's not looking good. So I think Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles, and I think Aaron Rodgers probably played his last NFL snap, and I think Aaron Rodgers has a lot of pain because he came here, you know, he went to New York to prosper, to succeed, and now he probably can't have that because it's likely that he ruptured his Achilles, tore his Achilles, something like that, and it was crazy because he may never have a passing yard with the Jets. He was 0 for 2 before that happened on the first drive. So Aaron Rodgers getting hurt is easily what takes the week one. What makes week one the biggest takeaway? The biggest takeaway week one was Aaron Rodgers likely being done for the season because that was crazy. And as a
Yeah.
Packers fan, how do you feel?
Well, I'm sad. I'm sad because before we even started filming here, I was thinking to myself, what am I going to say? Because I was like, it's sad. it hurts me. It hurts me because if I'm being honest, it doesn't look good. And a player coming from an Achilles tendon is at his age. It reminds me of the Kobe injury. When Kobe injured his Achilles, he was at a pretty old age, and he never came back the same, and he had to retire. So it kind of like it's like, damn man, another one of my favorite players of all time is gonna go down like this, and I really do hope that it's not. That's it. But at this point, it's not looking good. I hope. I mean, we don't have 100% confirmation that it's an Achilles tendon tear, but you got to kind of expect the worst. If Adam Sala is saying that, you kind of gotta. If the team is, if the team, I mean, the way that the team rallied after that is great. It makes me happy that the Jets won today because they deserved it. After losing Aaron Rodgers like that, you kind of feel demoralized. You kind of feel like, damn, this season might be just over. And the Jets fans were also like, damn, this is it.
Season was probably up. Like they felt like that. What, like not even 10 minutes into the season? Think about that. Think about that. Not even 10 minutes into the season, and you had to see the quarterback
go
potentially
down.
just be gone for the year.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Let me just finish with my last remarks. I just wish well for Aaron Rodgers and everything I've said negative about the Jets. If I ever did, it was completely just for the fun of it. But if I'm being honest, I want him to prosper. I wanted him to succeed. I wanted him to win one last Super Bowl. If even if it was with the Jets, I just wanted to see him make it out there and be like, man, I'm happy I've had this guy. I've seen him for like 15 years, so it's like it's crazy, if this is it, I miss you. I miss you, Aaron. I miss you. I miss you. I know the camera isn't fucking picking it up, but I miss you, Aaron.
but before we wrap it up, let's just say Josh Allen. He's not the best. He's not the second best quarterback. I don't understand how people really have him that high. He was making some bonehead plays today. I don't know if he thought Whitehead was on the Bills for a second because he just got intercepted by him 3 times, and he got fumbled one time, and then he, you know, was rushing, and then he was like still 10 yards away from the first down, and he's out here leaping defenders, rushing. I don't know what Allen is on sometimes. I don't know why people think he's the best quarterback, when he can clearly do dumb stuff like this against one of the best defenses. I'm not gonna lie, the talent's there. I'm not out here saying he's not elite. I still think he's for sure top 10, for sure. But saying that he's second, people that say that, they're wrong. They're wrong, because I think Justin Herbert's the second best quarterback. But that's a different discussion for a different time. Um, but yeah, Josh Allen, he reminds me a lot of Brett Favre. Reckless, barely won a Super Bowl, and think about it, Josh Allen has never been to a Super Bowl. So I feel like I see a lot of Brett Favre, reckless, strong arm, stuff like that. And it's ironic because he played for the Packers and the Jets. So I don't know how you feel about Josh Allen.
I thank him for doing bad because I won like that my fantasy game. Well, in one league, I won because of the poor performance, and in another league, I have him as my quarterback one, and he made me lose. I was actually so it was like a lose. It was a lose. It could have been either. It could have been a lose win. There was no other choice. But yeah, I mean, Josh Allen was just horrendous out there, horrendous. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if he didn't get that many reps in preseason. He wasn't warmed up or something.
He was playing the games. He played some of the games.
Yeah, but I think the lights were just too bright. The lights were too bright. The Aaron Rodgers debut just, scared him or something.
I don't know. I don't know. He was making some boneheaded plays,
I
bro.
was mad.
Yeah, he was making some. I don't even know, bro. That made me question. It's like he's for sure had the talent. I just don't know why he decides to do some of the stuff he does. He
Yeah.
could have taken check downs. He could have rushed the ball, which he has those abilities, bro. I don't know. I don't know what Josh Allen was on today, but he made Whitehead look like one of the best corners ever. So that says a lot.
Three
But
picks
never,
already.
yeah. But nevertheless, I feel like this pretty much wraps up the episode. We'll keep talking about a lot of stuff, and you know, overall, it was just a crazy week one, and I feel like we'll really know more of these teams as time goes on because it was just 1 week.
Yeah, exactly. It's only 1 week. Some of the things we say are overreactions. Some of them are valid claims, but we'll see more as the season goes by. If obviously if these top performers continue their streak, or if they reach a slump, we'll see. It's better than the first week, but it was entertaining and it was fun. And I mean, can't wait for the next 16 weeks.
Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we're out.
Thank you guys.